Hey everyone, this is Anthony Carley. I'm here to real quick show you guys how you can use Google Meet to record a group presentation with PowerPoint. This video is specifically for those who are on a Windows machine. There is another video that has already been created for those who are using Mac. So if you are using a Mac, you're going to want to switch to that video. If you're on a Windows machine, then you are on the correct video. So this is really simple to do, but it just takes a little bit of time for setup as well as some of your submissions. So what you're going to need to first do, you need to get to your Google Calendar. So you can do that by typing in calendar.google.com, or you can go to the My Cornerstone page and there's the Google Calendar. If you're logged into Google Chrome and you go this way and you're in your own personal one, when you do hit this, it might take you to your personal Google Calendar. So you're just going to want to make sure that you come up here and switch to the correct account and make sure that you are on your Cornerstone University Google Calendar. Once you've done that, you're going to go to the day that you plan to do your recording with your group project team members. So let's say here's today. Let's say that we're planning on doing it today. Let's say at noon. So I'm going to double click in this empty area and I'm going to give it a title of, let's just say, presentation. I'm going to change the all day just and set it to noon just because that's the time that we're planning. Your end time doesn't entirely matter, but it's nice to just kind of put in, just say, hey, this is how long we're expecting to go. It could go shorter, it could go longer. From there, always remember you need to add your conferencing for Hangout Meets. That's going to create your URL link to be able to join a meet. From there, you're going to need to go through and add all your guests. So basically everyone else is in your group. You can start typing in their name. So I could start saying like Stephanie Comer, and then I add them. Let's say that I don't need them though. I accidentally added someone that I didn't mean to. I can hit the remove right there. It's just a little X. Once you've gone through and you've added everyone that you need, you're good to hit save. This is going to send out an email as well as automatically get added to their calendar. So from their email or from the calendar, you can go to the event that was created, and both on the email and here we can see that we have the URL to join our meet. From there, we're going to see, yep, camera failed because I'm using it with another application. We're going to see that we've joined this meet. We can see audio is working. I can hit join now. That's perfectly fine that there's no camera right here at the moment, just because, again, I'm using another application with my camera, or else normally you would see yourself here. Next thing that you're going to need to do, you're going to need to have your PowerPoint ready to go. Bring up your PowerPoint, and you're actually going to start your presentation. Now this is an old PowerPoint of mine, so that from a few years ago. But the reason why we need to be able to have this PowerPoint up and ready to go is because on a Windows machine, unlike Mac, it actually considers this presentation mode as well as the actual PowerPoint application as two separate windows. On a Mac, it actually considers it as just one screen, basically, or one application, one window. So from here you might say, okay, well, how do I get back to Google Meet? So that way you can start saying like, hey, I need to be able to share this. I need to be able to, this window I need to share, as well as I also need to start the recording. It's real simple. You're going to hit your window key. The window key is another way to be able to basically hit the start button. From there, all we have to do is go over to the Meet presentation. Or that's just what it says here, but you just gotta go back to your web browser. So we can now see that it's basically this view. We can now hit the present now in a window. By doing just a window, this allows us to record just the presentation and not like your entire screen. So if there's any like email pop-ups or anything like that, it's not going to pick those up. It's only going to see just what you want it to see. So from there, we're going to need to make sure that we select on the presentation. I can tell because that's the file, this is the presentation, and I'm now going to hit share. It's going to bring me back to our PowerPoint page, but if I go back over here to, if we hide that, if I go back here to our Google Meet, I can come up here and I can actually click right up in here and see what we're presenting. So I can see that it's actually presenting what we want it to, and now I can actually go back to our slideshow. Before I do, I'm going to real quick explain. The recording is going to actually show basically this as well as the person speaking to the right. So if you're the one speaking as well as running the slideshow, it will show both you and the slideshow, and then when someone else starts presenting their portion of the slides, it's going to show them. So that is another thing. You do always need to make sure that all your slides are in the one file and you're not trying to jump around between other people. Before I go back to our PowerPoint presentation though, when we're ready to go, we're just going to hit record meeting and then we can hit accept. It's going to take a second, it's going to start processing, and now it's recording. Now that we have Google Meet recording our presentation, we can actually now go back to our slideshow, and I can now click through the slideshow. When you're done, you can either just hit the escape button, or you can go through and then go back and now hit stop presenting. If you want to make it a little bit cleaner, you can hit the window key like we did before to come in here, stop presenting, and you can also just stop the recording as well. Stops the recording. Now if you see here, it says the recording will be saved to my Google Drive shortly. It's got to take some time to process. It does take a little bit. So when you're ready to then take your Google Meet presentation, the recording, you're going to need to go to your drive.google.com, and again we're going to want to make sure that we're in the correct account so I can see it here. From there, where you can see this is my drive, and actually we can see one that I had already created here, but what we're going to do is we're going to look for basically this folder of Meet recordings. These were actually some past ones that I've used. The actual one is not here yet. It does take a little bit of time to process, but I can see one that I was doing the same thing for right here if I needed to. But when it does show up and you're ready to basically submit, you're actually going to need to right click and hit download. It's now going to download the MP4 file or the video file of your presentation. From there, I'm going to suggest going to YouTube to be able to upload this video because the video file is going to be too large to just submit straight to Moodle, and this will allow you to just give your professor a link. I'm going to come down here. We're going to hit show in folder just because it's very simple to just do that instead of having to hit select a file and then navigate your files. So we're just going to have it right here. We can click, drag, and drop. And it shows up right here very nicely. It starts uploading. We can label it. We can now give it a description if we want. All sorts of things like that. The big thing is that is required on this page is you do need to say if it's made for kids or not. My recommendation is just hit no. It's not going to matter. And then the age restriction should automatically be set no. Don't restrict my video to viewers over 18. Over 2 viewers over 18 only. but just make sure that that is selected. If you do hit yes, someone's going to have to be logged in and stuff like that if they're going to view it. From there, you're going to hit next. We don't need anything here, so we're going to hit next again. This is also very important. I would suggest going to unlisted. This means that the only people who are going to be able to view this video are those who have the link. If you have it public, it's just going to be out there for anyone to watch, and private means that only you can watch it, and then you have to send like specific like invite codes for other people to watch and stuff. Having it unlisted is just, here's the URL link, send it out, you're good to go. When you're done with that, you're going to hit save, and we're going to see that it's actually already finished publishing. Most likely it is going to take a little bit of time to publish, but when it's ready to go, we can come to YouTube, the link, where we can now select that, and we can actually copy it, go to Moodle, and submit it by hitting paste. That's how you guys are gonna be able to use Google Meet to do some different recordings. I hope that this helps. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask your professor. If your professor doesn't entirely know, they will reach out to someone who does know how to answer your questions. I hope this helps, and have a great day.